15 terakhir jadi staff. Kebetulan waktu tahun itu ada yang menawari untuk kerja freelance seperti sampai sekarang ini yang freelance-nya side job-nya seperti Bali Luxury Villas saya sering dipanggil juga sama dia untuk mengisi pila-pilanya ya dia untuk sebagai chef-nya dan RDT-nya yang di Bukit Vista juga gitu.
Oke, baik. Jadi kemana-mana ya, udah jadi chefnya gitu.
Keliling lah, keliling dan pasar keliling Bandung biasanya saya chef seperti itu.
Ya, berarti
Keliling lah.
sudah sepuh ini, sudah senior sekali ya.
Ya bisa lah gitu, bukannya
Ya.
pinter bisa gitulah.
Hmm, Oke. Untuk session selanjutnya masuk ke tanya jawab ya, Chef.
Ya ya siap siap.
Mungkin untuk pertanyaan pertama, apa yang menginspirasi Chef Ketut untuk mengejar karir di bidang kuliner? Dan apa yang membuat Chef Ketut tetap bersemangat nih dalam 17 tahun nih udah jadi chef nih?
Yang pertama tuh karena hobi memasak Pak. Hobi memasak. Hobi saya dari kecil hobi memasak diajarin sama ibu tuh memasak sampai udah SMP saya udah bisa masak ya, masak ala-ala masakan desa lah gitu. Sampai membantu ibu gitu. Itu yang mengajarkan mendorong sekali saya ingin belajar masakan-masakan luar gitu. Karena hobi, Pak.
Oh, oh jadi karena hobi dari kecil ya. Jadi sampai saat ini masih passionnya itu masih di jadi chef ya.
Iya, iya.
Oke baik. Lanjut ke pertanyaan kedua.
Ya.
Bisa diceritakan tentang pengalaman atau tantangan yang berkesan yang chef pernah hadapi dalam perjalanan kuliner sebagai chef? Mungkin di tempat lain ada tantangan apa atau kesan gitu.
Maksudnya tantangan apa? Masalah salary apa tantangan gimana gitu?
Oh, tantangan dalam bekerja sebagai chef lah.
Oh,
Gimana?
tantangan bekerja istilah. Tantangan yang bekerja itu masakan waktu itu saya kerja di masakan India. Di Kokomo kayaknya Pak Jing pernah ketemu sama saya di Kokomo dulu itu. Tantangannya luar biasa seorang manajer tuh orang India. Tidak bisa memasak, tapi ngaku pintar gitu jadi tantangannya gimana saya seorang chef diajarin gitulah bahasanya. Artinya tantangan untuk belajar menunya dia kan menu India semua saya belajar tapi dia tahu sama di Facebook apa emang di Google dia tahu saya mencarinya di teman dia ada punya saya kan punya teman chef India juga dia tanya tantangannya dia artinya kukuh sekali dia kukuh sekali dengan resipi-resipinya dia gitu Pak.
Oh, gitu ya, chef.
Ya.
eh Masakan India emang susah ya, chef? Bedanya sama masakan Indonesia apa sih, emang? Mungkin.
Kalau kalau dipelajari nggak ada yang susah, nggak ada yang susah sih menurut saya kalau bisa mau mempelajari gitu. Kalau saya kan senang memasak, kalau dipelajari lihat di Google dan lihat rasa, tapi cuma nggak tahu rasanya aja sih benar. Tahu rasa sebenarnya nggak tahu gitu lah.
Lebih 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 enak masakan Indonesia atau India, chef?
100% lebih enak.
Indonesia
Karena
ya.
karena lidah kita kan Indonesia. Kalau
Ya.
lidah India itu kan kebanyakan rempah-rempahnya. Rempah-rempah kita kan kayak istilahnya masa Indonesia itu kalau kebanyakan jahe gimana rasanya? Kalau kebanyakan kencur gimana rasanya kan gitu bahasanya. Ya, emang India emang gitu, Pak. Harus banyak-banyak itu. Rempah-rempahnya lumayan lumayan banyak isinya.
Oh, gitu ya.
Selain chicken butter chicken bisa saya makan butter chicken kayak breakfast poha bisa makan.
Oh, saya juga belum pernah sih, chef. Jadi mungkin kalau ke Bali ketemu chef Ketut minta
Boleh, boleh.
dimasakin.
Saya kasih dah breakfast breakfast India. Nanti kan
Ya,
breakfast India kan poha namanya. Ya kayak naan gitu lah. Bisa bisa
bisa,
dicoba.
bisa. Bisa ya, Chef ya.
Ya,
Oke, lanjut ke pertanyaan yang terakhir.
ya,
Eh, Setelah bekerja di beberapa tempat, menurut
ya.
Chef, apa elemen kunci yang sangat berdampak terhadap customer service yang luar biasa di industri hospitality? Mungkin ada pengalaman eh, menyajikan ke tamu apa yang eh, elemen kunci lah yang bikin tamu itu senang gitu.
Saya seorang chef pasti punya cara apa namanya untuk apologies tamu biasanya kan ada masalah gitu istilahnya kan tamunya pasti komplain gitu masalah apa kayak masalah pila biasanya sih saya kan masalah pila komplain tamu. Saya apologies pasti di makanan pak. Saya kasih makanan gratis gitulah. Di sana kalau jadi stafnya dulu ya. Kalau di stafnya saya ngomong lah sama bos pilanya. Dan tamunya kurang puas, karena puas karena gini pilihannya ada kak biasa kan di pila tuh ada aja masalahnya istilahnya enggak kalau poolnya kotor gitu kan bahasanya toiletnya kurang bersih biasanya tamunya tuh ngambek saya sekali apologies tapi makanan yang ringan ya kasih gratis lah itu sih jurus saya untuk apa namanya untuk tamu-tamu biasanya komplain gitu loh.
Oh, emang ini ya banyak apa namanya di banyak tempat banyak tamu komplain gitu. Emang harus dikasih makanan biar kenyang. Biasanya kalau kenyang happy gitu ya,
Biasanya
Sofia.
yang saya tahu gitu aja sih masalah tamu biasanya mungkin dia udah habis uangnya kan gitu misalnya gimana dia nggak happy di villa biasanya komplain ada aja di masalah saya ya apologies tapi nggak ngasih apologies yang masuk masakan yang berat kayak kayak sete itu kan kita rugi banyak jadi pastilah kasih ya kasihlah family style kayak apa berapa orang saya kasih lah masakan Indonesia kan nggak seberapa sih costnya gitu.
Oh, mungkin kalau kalau makan komplementari atau untuk menyambut gitu, mungkin pernah nggak beli?
Masalah kalau salah masalah makanan tuh sampai sekarang sih belum pernah ada saya komplain tamu. Jujur saya. Masalah makanan saya belum pernah ada komplain kayak pedas, kayak asin gitu, kayak jelek pokoknya masa kalau asin sedikit kan bisa ditambahin garam sedikit. Makanya salt pepper bisa di separate gitu. Disediakan lah. Belum belum pernah ada makanan yang komplain untuk tamu.
Oh, oke, baik. Oke, baik. Mungkin dari teman-teman di sini ada yang mau ditanyakan ke Chef Ketut. Nah, Furkon silahkan.
Oke, saya perkenalkan saya Furkon dari tim PR Bukit Vista. Kemarin saya mengundang Chef untuk
Ya,
datang ke acara hari ini. Terima kasih Chef
ya.
sudah menyempatkan hadir. Um, saya mau tanya, Chef kan sudah punya banyak pengalaman memasak gitu di berbagai macam restoran dan juga di berbagai macam kesempatan. Apakah Chef Ketut punya satu signature dish yang itu jadi andalan chef Ketut ketika serving untuk mau serving kepada tamu yang spesial gitu, dan apa filosofi atau cerita di balik signature dish tersebut?
Maksudnya gimana Pak? Bu kok saya belum mengerti gimana?
Oh, ini chef Ketut kayak punya ini nggak, menu andalan kalau
Oh,
misalkan mau disajikan kepada tamu yang sangat spesial gitu, apakah chef Ketut punya menu atau masakan andalan yang biasa disajikan, dan apa cerita di balik menu andalan tersebut gitu?
oh gitu ya. Saya pasti punya menu spesial food lah ya biasanya. Untuk apanya tamu tuh pasti punya spesial food. Yang nah ya kali tapi menu spesial food saya itu pasti Balinese ya. Kalau untuk tamu ya maaf kalau tamu muslim kayak kasih saya kayak ayam gitu lah, seafood. Untuk menu spesialnya kalau istilahnya kalau orang Kristen pasti sakling pig saya kasih family styling gitu lah. Lengkap. Sama dessertnya appetizer main course dessertnya saya kasih untuk spesial foodnya biasanya gitu loh Pak.
Oke, baik. Tapi kan Balinis itu punya banyak makanan ya. Apakah ada satu menu yang benar-benar spesial gitu di antara semua macam makanan Balinis, Chef Ketut, yang menjadi andalannya chef gitu?
Oh, itu masakan Bali biasanya Pak gitu.
Masakan Bali apa yang paling yang Chef Ketut paling rasa jago nih atau paling pede nih gitu?
Oh gitu. Saya biasa sih bikin Balinese soto Pak.
Oh,
Balinese soto sih simpel tapi ya sudah banyak yang tamunya bilang mantap gitulah Pak. Masakan Balinese itu ya Balinese soto tuh. Kuahnya bening tapi enak gitu loh Pak. Itu aja sih untuk Balinese-nya yang apa namanya yang simpel. Kalau yang berat-berat masalah Balinese seperti kayak sakling pig itu kan banyak istilahnya Pak. Babi
hmm,
kecap gitu loh Pak.
hmm. Oke, sip. Terima kasih Chef Ketut. Kembali ke Mas Abang.
Ya Pak Bugon, makasih kembali.
Oh, ada satu lagi nih. Marcel, silahkan Marcel.
Halo, Bli Ketut. How are you doing, Bli?
Pak, baik Pak Marcel, baik.
Saya ingin bertanya, Bli. Kalau dari Bli Ketut, bagaimana misalkan Bli memasak gitu kan, ya, kayak di RTP gitu kan ya.
Ya.
Bagaimana Bli bisa mengetahui bahwa kayak, oh, tamunya satisfy nih, tamunya merasa enak nih, apa gitu, hal-hal yang Bli lihat gitu. Apakah misalkan pas RTP Bella dia kayak gitu kan, momen apa gitu yang Bli lihat dan perhatikan sehingga Bli bisa lihat kayak, oh, my food is working gitu, my food is good, everyone's happy. Betul Bli.
Oh gitu. Saya melihat tamu itu dari ngambil makanan pertama dan dimasukkan ke mulutnya itu kan kelihatan wajahnya gitu Pak Marcel. Wajahnya kalau ya tersenyum pasti enak pasti Pak. Gitu sih lihat pasti. Wah, amazing lah makannya amazing, makannya kan yummy kan biasa lah gitu ya. Kalau lihat waktu di pertama makanan apa yang dicoba satu dimasukin ke mulutnya gitu. Itu dah kelihatan dah permukanya itu saya baca dah oh berarti enak makanan saya kan gitulah Pak.
Yes. Okay, thank you Bli. Have a great day Bli.
Ya Pak Marcel.
Thank you Marcel for the question. Oke, waktunya sayang sekali sudah habis ya Bli.
Ya
Terima
siap.
kasih sudah datang di All Hands hari ini, sudah mau cerita tentang perjalanannya dan tentang dunia kuliner gitu.
Iya.
Chef Ketut bisa stay di sini kalau ada waktu atau jika ada kegiatan yang lain boleh leave saja gitu. Terima kasih sekali lagi Chef Ketut.
Oh gitu ya Pak Burgon, kebetulan saya ada kerjaan juga ya. Saya akan akhiri di sini Pak Burgon ya. Makasih teman-teman ya, sudah mengundang saya di acara ini ya. Terima kasih semuanya ya.
Ya,
Boleh
terima
tutup
kasih.
langsung, Pak. Saya boleh tutup langsung berarti ya. Pak
Masih
Jing, thank you
Boleh,
very much
boleh.
Pak Jing.
Pak Ted.
Makasih
Thank you,
Pak
thank
Chef.
you.
Chef
Thank
Ketut,
you,
makasih.
thank you. See you.
See you,
See
Bli.
you. Take care, Mbak Yan. See you.
See you.
See you ya.
Ya.
Alright, for the next session, I'll give it to Mr. Jing.
Okay. Thank you very much. Actually, a bump. Quick question: whose idea was it to bring Chef Ketut here today? Yes, Furkan.
Yes, it was me.
I think that was a really good idea, by the way. And I'll tell you guys why. Oftentimes, and this is something I'm going to talk about today. Oftentimes, I think we get comfortable in this particular idea that the work at the top is important, right? Let's say executive work, whatever. But if we really think about it, most of the important work is being done by a lot of people who are not even in this room. Like, maybe a guest doesn't really care if I'm here or not, but they will care if the housekeeper didn't do their job. Maybe a guest, whatever, doesn't care if I'm here, but they probably will care if their hot water isn't working. or if the Wi-Fi isn't working, or if the toilet smells bad. Okay, so I think this is a really good paradigm consideration, which means instead of always thinking like the most important work is done by people who are the most senior, a lot of the most important work is being done by people who are right there with guests every day, feeding guests, making sure that their towels are ready, making sure that their beds are clean, making sure that they're going to get a good experience. And I think it's actually pretty inspirational to remember people like Buck, who's been kind of with us for quite a while and has fed me many, many meals and is inspirational. Okay, so yes, sometimes we get people in high research, we get people from colleges, but let's not forget that there's a lot of important work and urgent work that is being done by people that we don't necessarily see. So thank you for raising some visibility there and helping us remember that this is a hospitality company. Okay. All right. That being said, let me begin with some good news and bad news. Okay. And I'm just going to be open and transparent here. So just sit with me tight. Please pay attention. Okay. I've made some mistakes and I'm here to apologize for my mistakes to everybody, because these mistakes are going to affect everybody's, I guess, performance this month. Okay. All right. So my primary mistake, which by the way, I'd like to actually compliment Vidi. Is Vidi there? Yeah, I see you, Vidi. Okay. Hey, everyone give Vidi a hand. Give Vidi a hand. Okay. No, show some love. Show some love. Okay. And the reason why I think this is important is, does anybody ever know that child's story of the emperor's new clothes? I'm not saying I'm an emperor, but maybe you guys have heard of that story before, right? So the story goes that there is this king, and he's being told that there's these very, very talented tailors, and they're going to make him a new coat, right? So they're telling him that, well, the coat's invisible only to dumb people, so you can't see it unless you're smart. And so the king believes them, and whatever. And then one day on a parade, the king goes out there, and everyone believes the myth, right? Everyone thinks that only dumb people can't see the invisible fabric. And then it takes I think a child said the king's not wearing anything; he's walking around naked. And then everyone realizes, oh, that was the problem. Okay, so Vinny, I think that your particular point is a really good example of stepping on toes, and why stepping on toes is so important in the type of work that we do here. Okay, so Vidi made me realize a big problem that I had been experiencing, which is I'm making big strategic decisions without being in the details. And this goes back to what I just said. The details are understanding how food is prepared for our guests. The details is understanding what spices go into that food that is being prepared for our guests. The detail understands what's the name of our housekeeper at this particular property. The details are, do you really understand what they're capable of? Those are the details, and there's a lot of details, right? And it can get very, very tiresome to look at all the details, but when we don't look at the details, we can make some bad decisions. So last week, Krishna came up here, and he dismissed Chintia. And later I had a conversation with Krishna. I couldn't understand why he was confused, because I had made the conclusion that Chintia was not actually doing her job. But taking a closer look, and although there is room for improvement in Chintia's in her role, I think she was doing her job. So that was a strategic mistake. And I apologize to Chintia, and I apologize to Krishna for making this particular fast decision. Okay? Now, might not be anything we can do about it, but at least we know. Okay, at least we're coming out wiser. Also, by the way, those of you who are engineers, I just did some work with engineering tools, and I'm blown away by how good the tools are. I'm actually astounded at how, I'm like, wow, shit, this is pretty amazing. I feel like you can drive the entire company. I feel like you can drive 1,000 property management companies with some of the tools that we've created. Now, our tools are not perfect. And engineering tools will never be perfect, because as long as you have a vision for what to do next, there's always something more to do. But man, they're pretty good. They're actually pretty good, okay? So then I try to figure out, well, why is there so many problems, right? Why is it that everyone seems to be blaming other people for why we don't have any strategic alignment? And I'm happy to say this, that I think we actually reached a new point. I'm going to slow down here, and I want everyone to listen, okay? Because it's kind of like, it's sort of like one of those moments. It should be a celebration, but it's not, because we often see it as pain. But I'm happy, and here's what I'm here to tell everybody. When you experience a new type of pain, a new type of thing that you're experiencing is a little bit weird, it doesn't feel right, that could be a good sign. That could be a very good sign. That could be an indication that you're growing. If you experience the same type of pain all the time and you look back on it and, same problem that we faced last year, same problem that we faced 6 months ago, same problem that we faced 3 months ago, that's not a good type of pain. That's a hopeless pain. Here's what I noticed. This type of pain that we're noticing, that we're feeling, is not a traditional pain. It's not the kind of pain that we had before. Before, when we had a pain, the pain was because somebody wasn't doing their job. And because somebody wasn't doing their job, people were covering for them. And because people were covering for them, then the entire company slowed down, and we had to go out and find where the problem is or who the problem was, and then go eliminate that person, and then that was the problem. But I'm happy to say that that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. We have a new type of problem. The new type of problem is everybody is doing their job. Everybody wants to do their job. Everybody is fighting to do their job. But the problem is people don't have a vision for what the new job should be when it's done. We've reached what I would call a moment where we have a temporary vision crisis. What is a vision crisis? A vision crisis is when different groups of people who are working together can't agree on what finished looks like. They can't make decisions on what essentially the end goal should be. Yeah, they kind of know that there's a goal there, but they can't see what the implementation should be. So back to what I was saying before. I'm rather proud of the company in this particular way that we are reaching these particular new types of problems. We're not having problems at execution level. We're not having problems at supervision level. We're having fewer problems on knowledge level. Yes, we still are having problems in strategy level. And part of that is related to very few talent being able to do upper management. But ultimately, we're getting to the point where we're having vision problems, okay? And so that's my responsibility. That's my job. That's why I'm getting into the details right now to actually figure out what the vision should be, okay? And the vision is not just the big picture in terms of, oh yeah, Bukit Vista is going to be a $5 million, $6 million company. But the vision is also, how should guests experience Bukit Vista? How should somebody who's doing, let's say, a particular job experience Bukit Vista as an employee? How should a partner experience Bukit Vista? And it's not possible to do that without getting in the details. I'd like to share a few tools that we have in the company that help people get into the details. And this is a very controversial topic, so I'll just open up, hopefully after what I just said about myself. I've taken a look at our main tool to get everybody into details. It's called the Buddies Balanced Work Program. And there's kind of a problem with it, I'll put it this way, all right? There's nothing wrong with the idea of having Buddies Balanced Work. That part is really good. That part is really strong because it allows everybody who is working on a problem. Let's say you're working on HR. You're looking to hire people. You're looking to grade their work. You're trying to check if their supervisors are giving the correct bonuses in it. Shouldn't you and HR go and actually do that role for a little bit just to know what it's about? Let's say you're in marketing and you're looking at guest complaints and you're wondering why guests are complaining. Well, isn't there something that you can do to actually look at that and solve maybe the guest complaint from an expectation point of view? Let's say you're an engineer, you build products. Not a lot of people understand what your products are capable of or what they actually do, and they can't communicate these problems to you as an engineer. It would be a good idea for you to go into the details and start experiencing how do other people experience your products, how do guests experience your products. Let's say you're a manager and you never do the work yourself. And so then you can't understand what other people are actually doing. So you make bad decisions about what is work, what is not work, what should be automated, what isn't being automated, because you're not in the details. Okay. The problem is not BBW. The problem is we need to have this idea about being in the details is not micromanagement. It's not execution. It's not I'm being forced to do something that I shouldn't be doing. Being in the details means that you have deep understanding of what it is that people other than yourself are experiencing, and you can experience their perspective. It means that you can actually experience the perspective of a frustrated guest when they're unable to check in, whether it's due to an engineering issue, a content issue, or any other particular thing. Being in the details means that you have a chef here who can tell you what their food tastes like, what their philosophy is, what they prefer cooking, and understanding who they are as a person. That's being in the details, okay? Being in the details is absolutely necessary for us to have an innovation culture. Because if we're not in the details, then none of us really understand how anybody else is experiencing this particular company. And that results in a lot of strategic misunderstanding and a lot of strategic mistakes, okay? So the one thing I want you guys to understand is this, all right? There's a difference between doing execution and not thinking about it, all right? And using that execution to plan and gain experience on how to improve your own work and being in the details, okay? I think we have a hard time sort of doing both at the same time, but let's be in the details, okay? All right, can we all agree? This is a good idea. Yes? Okay, good. All right, let's go on to the next part. The next part is this a bad thing? Is this a good thing? Well, like I said, I guess we all need strategic practice, don't we? Okay. So I thought I would be a strategic teacher, but sometimes I realized maybe I need to be a strategic student. Okay. Maybe we all need to be students here. I understand that strategy is not easy. Strategy is not just sitting in a big boardroom, talking to people, smoking cigars, and making decisions about the rest of the world. Strategy sometimes means you should go down and take a look at the actual ground level to understand what's happening. Okay. However, we cannot actually get any understanding if we don't practice, everyone. And what happens is this, okay? What I'm doing today is hopefully I'm being a good role model for everybody here, which means that if you avoid practicing making strategic decisions, then of course you'll never make any mistakes. Of course, right? You'll just let things continue the way they are. It'll be all safe and nothing will go wrong. But you have never gained any strategic understanding either. And that kind of creates another problem on another problem, another problem eventually, if you want to rise up in your career, okay? So if there's been any meaning in perhaps the disappointing situations that we've seen, if there's been any sort of purpose in it, then let's just say that this is strategic practice, that this is necessary in order to gain strategic understanding, and let's acknowledge that this price can be high, this price can be expensive. But I want to leave you with a word of inspiration. I want to leave everybody with a word of inspiration, which is this, okay? I've already said to everybody, it's okay. All right, I'll pick up the bill. I want everybody to start actually practicing how to think a little bit more strategically. And yes, okay, in this case, maybe we can get back Cynthia, maybe we can get back Krista, maybe we can get back all the people who are resigning because they're upset about things. But if we didn't go through this practice, we probably wouldn't understand either, all right? So the one thing I want to actually sort of bring us to is this idea. I talked with Vidya, I talked with Marcel, talked with the senior leaders here. And this is hard. This is hard. If there's one thing I hope that everyone can kind of be a little bit more prescient on and a little practice on is strategic empathy. We often give a lot of empathy towards situations that we probably should not, and we probably don't give enough empathy to situations where we do need to actually consider. It is hard, but it is a root problem here. Okay, anyways, that's that. Let's get back to the stats. Hospitality performance is stable. Last week was at 80%, now we're at 81.2%. Now, this doesn't mean that the decisions made in the previous week were good decisions, okay? Because we all know that there's a bit of latency involved. So this is probably things that were done, 3-4 weeks ago that are showing up now, okay? All right, next, last all hands. Revenue goals were not on track. Hospitality is declining. New AUM was improving and rising. And we were finally doing the hard things that strategically align with the company. How does it look this week? This all hands. Well, revenue goals are still not on track. Hospitality is stabilizing. New AUM is improving and rising. And we're finding the key points that are stalling the company. Now, for those of you with any sort of critical thinking skills, you'll probably realize, well, how is it possible that revenue is not on track, but the new AUM is coming in? And apparently, there's some latency time. There's also some crucial onboarding time. And there's also some delay in actually seeing new AUM actually translate into the revenue. Okay. There are fast things that we can do to improve the revenue, and there are slow things we can do to improve the revenue. Getting new objects into our collection is a little bit on the slower side. It's not that every property who wants to sign up with us can start producing right away. We don't work like that. We've never worked like that. So it's important to understand latency. And this is why it's so important to get senior talent over to working on the new AUM side as soon as possible, because every day that we can improve and reduce that latency is a day that we'll be more on track for revenue later on, towards the last part of the semester. Okay, everyone clear? Can I go on? Yes? Okay. All right, I want everyone to keep the focus. We have found what the company needs to focus on. Despite everything that I just talked about, the focus is still the same. The focus is still the same, okay? The focus is still on raising the conversion rates from meetings to MOUs, okay? So making sure that new revenue flows into the company at a higher efficiency. And the focus is still to integrate operations with AI through more effective knowledge management. Now, one of the things I discovered with knowledge management is that knowledge management needs strategy. We need to prioritize certain types of knowledge, like policy, like making a firm decision on what to do with certain guests. Okay, I appreciate that now. We seem to be bottlenecked there. But it is still this particular focus. It's making a deeper commitment to knowledge management in the form of prioritizing the right knowledge. Okay, so this is where the company needs to be in order for us to reach our goals. Now, I'd like to stop this from happening, okay? I've been listening and people seem to have some wrong ideas, so let me stop this from happening because it's a wrong strategic thinking. So I don't want to hear this anymore, okay? If you do have a really legitimate complaint, come and talk to me and I will listen to you. I'll be in your details. And if you want, I'll do your job for a little bit. Unless you're an engineer, I probably don't know how to engineer anymore. So those of you with engineering have one advantage, okay? But here's the thing, okay? Please pay attention. Adding people doesn't make the work easier. Does anybody know why? Yeah, Rayhan's confused. He's like, what? How does adding more people not making the work easier? Does anybody know why adding people doesn't seem to make the work easier? Okay, yes, babe. Yeah, managing. Yes. Okay, you're right. We don't have enough supervisors here. If anyone noticed, yeah? There's very few people who like actually managing people here. Who likes to cut somebody's bonus? Who likes to tell people you're doing all this wrong? If you keep on doing this wrong, I'm going to tell Jing he'll fire you, right? Nobody likes to do that. And nobody does that. But how often do we get a person who comes right here right away and they know what to do and they're perfect? I've been doing this for 10 years. That never happens. It never happens. So even if you could get more people, okay? Even if you could get more people, you still would have the same problems. You'd have to manage that person and then set your expectations to what that person could do and then coordinate them and do all that thing. So adding more people at this stage in the game is not really going to solve the problem. So let's stop saying that. Let's stop saying, oh, if we add more people, we'll solve the problem. Okay. Are you going to be their boss? Are you going to hold them accountable? Are you going to decide their salary and tell them what their feedback is on their employee journal? Okay. If you're not that person who can confidently manage people, then adding more people is just adding more chaos to the problem. It's not just adding another person we have to babysit. Okay. So adding more people doesn't make the work easier. That's number one. Number two, treating the AI like a tool. I've come to realize that the AI is not a tool. Gaia is not a tool. And that's one of our biggest problems. We keep on treating it like a tool. It's a tool, it's a tool, it's a tool. Gaia is actually a team. Gaia is actually kind of like an entity, okay? Gaia has never been promoted. Gaia doesn't have anybody listening to her feedback. If we listen to Gaia's feedback, we could figure out what's always wrong and we could fix Gaia to be better. Gaia is a team. Gaia is an entity. Gaia has never been promoted. Nobody listens to Gaia. Nobody's studying. And we would just treat Gaia like a tool. But Gaia is actually a team. And because we don't treat Gaia like a team, we don't delegate to Gaia the work that should be done by Gaia. So then we do a lot of manual work without getting into details. And then we keep on saying we need to add more people to do manual work. But we have a team here that can do the work for us, but we don't put it into as good use as it could be. I'm sure Gaia's never gotten a promotion. Nobody ever say, hey, Gaia, you deserve a promotion. You're getting much, much better at your work than when you first started, which would literally mean that the people who manage Gaia should get promotions, right? The people who build Gaia should get promotions in that case. Because there's some accountability there, right? Okay, so let's stop treating Gaia as a team, as a tool. We need to start thinking of more, okay, this is a team, and this team or that particular person could be trained once and execute successfully if given the correct knowledge, if given the correct engineering, if given the correct idea of how to do the thing. And we should listen to the feedback because it gives a lot of feedback for what it needs in order to do its job better. And that needs to be listened to, just like all team feedback should be listened to. So I suggest that we should have an employee drone, right? I think Furqan's already working on one of those for actually Gaia, okay? Last thing. We as a company keep on thinking adding more solves problems. Adding more solves problem. Add this, it will solve this problem. Add this, it will solve this problem. I've come to realize that doesn't solve problems. Adding more just adds more complexity. It's a lack of focus. We start thinking, oh, okay, this problem will be solved if we add this new thing. This problem will be solved if we hire this new person. This problem will be solved if we just can add. And then all the complexity of adding more thing eventually gets us to where we're the weakest at. We are not good at managing people. That part is, there's very, very few people in this company that are good at managing people. We're not good necessarily at even identifying where somebody has talent. We seem to be not good at really understanding the capabilities of the tools that we do add to figure out what their strongest leverage points are. So even though we have great tools and great team, yeah, in this particular case, okay, let me correct my own vocabulary there. We don't know how to strategically use it. Okay, so let's focus back on the real strategy. This is the only two things we need to focus on, okay? We do not need a lot of people to actually fix this particular problem. So if what your work is doing, it should be contributing somehow to either raising the conversion rate or allowing people to go over to raise the conversion rate or getting operational AI integration. Okay, that's it. That's all we need to do and we will succeed. Don't need to focus on anything else. Just focus on this and it will work. If there's too much work, let's try to reduce the amount of unnecessary work that doesn't need to be done today so that we can focus on the necessary work. Every time we think we need to add more people, don't think that way. Think, what is the unnecessary work that does not contribute to this goal? And let's get rid of that. That then solves an entire problem. Okay? All right. Everyone clear? Yeah? Let's be strategic. Let's not be driven by myth. Okay. All right. This is another problem. We talk, hey, I'm smiling. We've talked about this before. Vita's smiling. We've talked about these things before. A lot of what we talk about all hands, we have talked about before. But when people aren't listening, we talk about them again. And we talk about them again. And we talk about them again. So please, stop doing whatever you're doing during all hands. I know you feel busy, but let's say that could be a small goal. That could be a micro goal. Okay, here. Let's just have a micro goal here. During all hands, can we actually ask for some AI integration so that you don't have to be typing, okay? Or set expectations with your counterparty so that they're not expecting you to be present during the all hands, because we talk about this for a reason, right? All right, it's here. It's here. We've talked about this before, so please pay attention during the all hands so we don't have to talk about it again and wonder, how come you don't know that? We talked about it at the all hands. Okay, all right, let's continue. Are we strategically correct? I think we are better, okay? We had to go through a lot of pain, go through a lot of agony, myself too as well. But we have identified and acted upon rules that prevented company goals from being achieved, Okay. And I mean myself too in that goal. Okay. Not just other people. It's me too. And part of the reason we have this is because I think we have inflated expectations of what someone should do. We seem to expect that people who are senior level are upper managers, but they might not actually be upper managers yet. What they really are is that they're practicing on how to be upper managers. Let them practice, okay? Give them some tolerance for failure because they need to learn how to do their jobs, just like you needed to learn your job when you first got here. Okay. So I'm going around and I'm realizing, yes, certain roles that call themselves upper managers are not upper managers, okay? They need to learn how to do it. Certain roles that call themselves knowledge managers still make mistakes. Certain people that go around doing strategy still have mistakes, okay? But let's be a little bit patient with people who are, let's say, in senior roles, because they probably need to learn how to do their jobs too. They need to positively transform. Okay. Now, new AUM is improving, as I said before. But as of this morning, I checked, and it doesn't seem like we know how to duplicate the results. So it could be luck right now. Until we've learned how to duplicate the results, and we can consistently actually, okay, Kyla's questioning, right? Kyla, you can correct me if you actually can duplicate the results, all right? But from what Guy told me, the new meetings this week are a little bit lower than the previous meetings, okay? But if you have a correction there, I would be open to listen to that. I need to get in the details. All right. But the good news is this. I think we found the major bottlenecks in hospitality automation and integration. And from this moment on, I think we can start seeing massive amounts of progress in getting this particular problem solved, okay? So it only took us, what, like about 5 weeks or so, maybe 6 weeks. But I think we've identified the key problems within the problems, but there'll be more. There'll be more discoveries. There'll be more things that we find out with time, okay? But anyways, this is good. This is much better than wondering, where's the problem? All right, so this is my commitment, as I've said before. The company just really depends on a few key people to do their jobs correctly. If you're not sure who those people are, those are the people who actually go to the morning strategic meetings. Those people really need to know the details. They really need to know what's going on, and we really need to get that correct, okay? But it depends on everybody to do their job right, all right? So I'm holding the managers and the people accountable to actually rise up and get the job done. And I want everyone to earn a bonus. I want everybody to succeed. Okay, all right, we talked about this enough. All right, so let's talk about the strategic core values, being the hero. Being the hero means that sometimes we need to take courage to break through, to actually go find out what problems are, be a little bit uncomfortable. Hopefully this morning is good inspiration for being here. The revenue goal is 3 million. Overall rating of 4.8, 5-star percentage 80%. The promise is a 5x individual bonus that the company achieves a 3 million sales target, measured from this April up until this September. On October 5th, we will decide. Now, revenue goal and 2 hospitality goals, 5x bonuses, 1 revenue goal, 1 hospitality goal, 3x bonuses. The revenue goal is not reached. There is no bonus. And here's the update. Here's the part that I need to speak about. There will be bonus caps this month because there is a shortfall, but I will consider my own mistakes and what kind of mistakes have been impacted to our revenue. So lower than what they would usually be for not making a revenue target. Okay, let's continue. Bonuses will be calculated on weighted average of your monthly individuals. Bonus caps and boosts will apply to under and overachievement months and carry weight on semesters. Okay, all right, that's the intern thing, of which we have almost done. Inspire delight means that we need to innovate in hospitality. Innovation in hospitality is what is the theme of our conversations and discussions these mornings. And the goal is to positively transform. Okay, that's it. Let me hand it back over to, I don't know.
To me, actually.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. And I hope that with this, everyone who's attending this meeting can also like take note about like the direction that we are going in the next couple of months. Okay. By now, I'd like to interrupt a bit. So now it's like 10:53. So we'll actually hold the part 2 of the all hands, whether this like Thursday or Friday. So for today, we'll continue with the hospitality and revenue target as well as the announcement, yeah. And I'll pass it back to Rayhan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kashalin, and also thank you, Mr. Jing, for your inspiring presentation. I hope that will be reminder for us that we must always be doing strategic thinking and strategic action, guys. And also maybe I will pass it to Dela to present the hospitality and revenue target, the quantitative things about our target, so we can keep on track.
Sure.
Let's go,
Thank
Dela. Thank you.
Rehan, yeah, for
Mm.
calling me. All right, so let me show you how we are performing for the hospitality target and achievement. Of course, it's targeted for the semester performance as well, yeah, everyone. So, all right, you can move to the next slide, Abam. Let me remind you again for the semester fifth target with the revenue target of 3 million USD and the hospitality target for 80% for 5-star ratings and 4.8 for the overall ratings. And let's see how we're doing for the hospitality target and achievement, of course. All right, for accuracy, good news, it's increased 0.3%. Last week we are at 83.5%, and this week we are at 83.8%. So yeah, kudos for content teams as well for maintaining the accuracy. And good news as well for check-in. Check-in increased 0.1%. Last week we are at 86.2%, and for the current progress we're at 86.3%. Yep. This is for the cleanliness. Cleanliness is still stagnant, yeah. So it's still the same with the last week. So this is not a good news. Yeah, but we can consider it as non-progress. So it's more like a bad news for me. So let's see if we can increase it for the next week. And for communication, it's increased 0.1%. Last week we were at 83.9. Right now we're at 84%. Okay, I hope this is the only metrics that went down this week. So for location, it's decreased 0.3% compared to last week. Last week we were at 73, and now we're at 72.7%. So this is also affected by some of the bad reviews as well for our properties that located in jungle. And where do you notice that as well? Yeah. Next, for the value, it's increased 0.3%. So right now we're at 79.7%. From previously we're at 79.4. This is good news. And next. Okay, so this is the recap for the hospitality target for the semester target. Yeah, so we're currently 81.2% for the 5-star ratings, which we already overachieved 1.2% for the 5-star ratings, and we're still behind 0.08 for the overall rating to achieve 4.8 for the semester target. Okay, let's see what's happening from the revenue side. So right now the current progress is we're at 1,779 USD. So we still have 1,220 USD left for achieving the 3 million USD target, and we still have 90 days left, which is 50.6% to achieve the 3 million target. Okay, it will be, yep, thank you, Abam. It will be counted until September 30. So yeah, with a measurement date of October 5th as well. So let's take a closer look and see if we can achieve that, hopefully. Okay. Yeah, that's it actually for the hospitality target and revenue achievement. So yeah, it's already spelled as well by Mr. Jing. It's getting stable compared to last week's as well. So good job for all of us. I'll give it back the floor to Rehan.
Okay, thank you, Dela. Okay, guys. Maybe for today's all hands, I will close it by the announcement. The announcement is from Vito.
Okay, thank you, Rehan, for the floor. So yeah, hi guys, everyone. Good morning. My name is Vito, and I want to let you know that I have resigned from Bukit Vista as a product owner and backend developer specialist, and my last day will be July 21st in 2024. So please enjoy my last 3 weeks here. So yeah, please give me some time to thank everyone here. First, I want to thank Vidi and Bayu for always helping me in every situation and always giving me opportunity to grow. Second, I want to thank Abam, Robin, and Nadia, my first teammate at Bukit Vista since February 2022. Third, I want to thank Rifki and Krishna as my day-to-day teammates in AI engineering, and I want to thank RD and Wendy as well in my engineering team. And of course, I want to thank our CEO and his wife, Jing and Wayana, for creating this company and giving me a place to meet extraordinary people here. So yeah, I also want to thank Marcel for always providing me a nice hosting in Bali. And I want to thank Kayla and Bella. We really had a good time in Bandung, right? You remember? And I want to thank Sheldon and Furkon for always helping me with HR matters. And I want to thank Pandu, Gray, and Sarah as my mentor in reservation and hosting site. I also want to thank David and Della for handling my finance requests and payroll. And of course, I want to thank marketing team, Mas Gani, Mas Hafiz, Ganesh, Sweda, and Rehan for handling my requests related to content and knowledge. And finally, I want to thank the rest of operation teams, Beli Ketut, Beli Tendi, Radit, Wahyu, and lastly maybe Erika. So yeah, maybe we don't have many times together, but I hope I never failed you guys. So yeah, that's all from me. Best wishes to all of you guys. See you around.
Okay, thank you, Vito. We promise that we will enjoy our last 3 weeks with you. that that also we hope that you will have a good journey ahead, Vito. Okay, thank you so much, Vito. And maybe this is our maybe we will close our all hands meeting for today and see for the announcement ahead from Kaselin, whether it's Thursday or Friday for the part 2 of the all hands. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Semangat for today and good luck. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you for today, guys.
Hello,
Thank
everyone.
you guys. Have a lovely week.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.